Hey guys, back again, this time to talk about last year's Jackie, which starred Natalie Portman. Now I'm going to say straight off that Natalie Portman, I've always loved her as an actress. Really, I think that she is a tremendously talented actress, no matter what she does. And I think this role, in the way that she replicates how Jackie Kennedy talks, I thought was very, very good and convincing because I didn't grow up knowing really what I knew who Jackie Kennedy was and what happened, but I never really knew about how she sounded, and because I didn't really watch footage of her, of her in the '60s, and I just didn't know what she sounded like. But I watched a clip of two I found online, and I thought that Natalie Portman just did a fantastic job just portraying this interpretation of Jackie, and I thought that it was so well done. And I thought that the way Natalie Portman sounded throughout this, she sounded really great. And I think that if I didn't look at her on screen and I heard just the voice, I wouldn't have known that's her. And I thought that she did a great job, really being a different kind of character she hasn't been in any other movie. I mean, yeah, she is the broken down character in this because it's a biography of her after JFK is shot, but I think she did a really just great job of portraying Jackie Kennedy and portraying this woman who tragically lost John F. Kennedy and how she had to deal with that and deal with the uprising of her being in the White House and her husband isn't there anymore, so she's got to not really stay there, and she's got to be with her kids and tell them that they don't have a father anymore. And she talks to the priest, who John Hurt plays, who did a great job. And it's sad to hear because this was his last film, which I thought was a good note to end on because he had a nice monologue at the end where he was saying that how he's lived a great life, even though he's referring to this character in the movie. But I thought that that was a nice touch. It was kind of like how in this year in Rogue One, how Carrie Fisher was digitally CGI'd into that movie, and then she died right after. So I felt like that was a good swan song of having her in that, and then she died afterwards. So unfortunately, so it was cool to see that happen with these two actors, with John Hurt and Carrie Fisher. But John Hurt, I thought, did really good in this, and I like too that the story. I'm not very accurate with the John F. Kennedy thing. And like, I mean, I know the basics. I know that he was the president in the '60s. He was assassinated in '63. I knew that before I saw this movie, and I knew Jackie Kennedy had to deal with him being gone. But I didn't know anything else. I really just didn't. I didn't remember that from. I know I studied in school, but I just didn't remember it until rewatching this or watching this for the first time. And I thought that just as the story goes, I thought it was very. It wasn't linear, but it was really well done, just showing her talking to a journalist, Billy Crudup, who plays the journalist, and she has to just kind of talk about what happened, like, and I thought that the acting is the best whenever Natalie Portman gets really, really emotional, and it is graphic whenever you see JFK, the actor who plays him in this movie, how you literally see him get shot in the head, like accurately, like they said like what happened in real life, and it is terrifying. It is pretty intense and pretty disgusting, and I think that the way that Natalie Portman portrayed her Jackie reacting to this, I thought was very, very well done, and I thought not showing it till the end I thought was very nice too. And I liked how it was non-linear, in which she is telling the story to a journalist, but she doesn't completely. It shows her in moments before with JFK and after with JFK, and then by the end it shows him getting assassinated with her sitting in the car with holding his head and how when after he was shot. And that scene, I think, is the best scene in the movie. I think that it was really, really scary accurate. I mean, of course, I wasn't there. It was in the 1960s, in '63, but the way that they filmed that, I feel like I was there. Like, I actually did just see this real thing happen because it was so accurate. I'd assume with, well, I remember that. I remember how they described it in the movie and before, how he got shot in the head right there, and she held him down and tried to hold him together, and that just, it was so disgusting. But and people, I feel like, will be offended by that because it is such a quick graphic thing that really happened to a man, and that's going to happen with all of these biographies where somebody is killed or something like that. But I think, yeah, it's kind of gross seeing something that actually happened be portrayed on screen, but I don't know, it felt like it gave an impact. It felt like it gave a big impact to show him getting killed. And yeah, he actually did in real life, and it is unfortunate, but I feel like you you kind of have to in a movie like this, how they made this movie. You got to show that happen, even though it's disgusting, and it happened in real life. So it's hard to say that I could really defend showing that, but I think it also makes a big impact in the movie. It makes the movie more intense, and it makes the movie actually give the emotional weight of this character and how she, or this real life person, but this character in the movie. But how she is feeling and how it shows her in this situation. And I think it is cruel, but it is so effective. It is so effective seeing that. And intense and gross. But like I said, the acting is fantastic. Like Natalie Portman, I like I said, was great as Jackie. The way she spoke, I thought she doesn't talk like this in any other movie I've seen her in. I think she did a fantastic job. And when, like I said, if I wasn't looking at her on the screen and just heard that voice, I wouldn't have really thought it was her. And then like Peter Sarsgaard is in it too as Bobby Kennedy, and Bobby Kennedy, I thought, like that he did good as Bobby too. I thought he was fine. And like I said, John Hurt and Billy Crudup are fine, or good. Well, actually, they're really good too. But I think that the acting is just top notch. I think the characters really, the actors that portray these real life characters really sell it. I think that it is so strong with having something that I didn't fully know the whole truth behind. Like I didn't ever delve into it. I mean, like I said, I knew before this movie, like, that JFK was assassinated and Jackie Kennedy had to deal with it, and you know that this is a real thing that happened, but I didn't know the full effect of it. Like I didn't know how the aftermath was and how she had to deal with it, and how you see her struggle through losing somebody. And I think that it's great, and I think that there are effective moments. There are so many effective moments in the movie. Like I said, the most effective is the scene where JFK gets shot and she is literally holding him on her stomach, or on her legs, just trying to hold his head together. And that saying that out loud is just really, really gross, but it, like I said, it's effective. It's an effective thing, even though it's really happened, and that's scary, but it's effective. And there are scenes where she, like, it shows scenes throughout where she has to deal with this trauma, and like there's one scene where she's taking off all her clothes and it's got blood on it and her face is all bloody and she's wiping it off and crying. And I think that is one of the most effective shots, no dialogue, just one of the most effective scenes in the movie, just how she is wiping the blood off her, and just how realistic it felt. It felt so realistic, and I really think that it was fantastic, and just the acting and how the story was portrayed, and how I got to know something more that I just never looked into about Jackie Kennedy and how she was affected by her husband getting killed. And I thought that it was just a really great movie all around. I think that the acting is great and the story is great. Really, I think that it was just a well-made movie. I think it really does give Natalie Portman like more credibility, even though she had such great credibility before. I think that she is an amazing actress, and I keep thinking that she gets better and better, because I love her in like Black Swan and V for Vendetta, and I first encountered her in the Star Wars prequels because I grew up right whenever those were coming out. But I grew up with her going along with these films, and I really think that she is a fantastic actress, and I think she really sells the movie, and she really keeps it high. Like I feel like even if it was another actress, I don't know if I'd like it as much, but I thought Natalie Portman just did a fantastic job, and so did the other actors. Everybody did great, and I really think that was a great movie. it really should have been talked about more. I think it's not gonna be one that people remember because it's not like a major blockbuster, and unfortunately, that's how we live in this world where, even though I like blockbusters, we don't get to encounter films like this where we have a lot better quality for the most part for stuff that's indie like this or stuff that is not a major Hollywood blockbuster. And I think that that's such a shame because I think this deserves a lot of recognition, but I don't know if it will. I really think that it won't get that much. I mean, Oscar wise, I don't think it even won anything. Natalie Portman, I don't think was even nominated for Best Actress, and I wish she would have. I can't remember. I could be wrong on that. I thought that she didn't win, or I thought that she wasn't even nominated for Best Actress last year. And if she didn't, that was such a shame because I thought she did great, and I thought she really brought something. Even though she was such a great, credible actress before, I feel like she brought much more to this, even though she's done so many great things in the past. So I really think that this should be talked about more. People should go see this. And if you're watching this, you probably have seen it already because it has spoilers. But if you haven't, get other people to watch it. I really wish that this got more recognition. But there are a lot of people who won't even care about this kind of movie anyways. Whenever I was younger, I wouldn't have cared about this. But growing up, I really wanted to see this and see other movies with just actors and actresses I like. And I think that she sells this. She sells the movie. She's such a strong point to it. But overall, just Jackie is great. It's not my favorite film last year, but it's really close. It's up there. It's definitely up there. Just in terms of the acting alone, the acting was fantastic. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Go tell everybody about this movie. Make people go see this. People, I feel like, should for the acting alone. I think the acting is fantastic. But anyways, thanks guys for watching so much, and I'll talk to you next time.